Good morning people, it's Monday morning and we're on Volkswagen campers. This is what I had to struggle with, getting the seat off to get the battery out. You're supposed to rotate this plate, but of course the steering wheel's in the way, you can't rotate it, so I've had to unbolt the seat to get the bloody battery out. Right, so we'll see if it'll start. Bye now. And there she is folks. After some prattling about with the fuel pump, which was dry, we got it running. Lovely, eh? Bye bye now. So as I was saying folks, it's Monday and I'm not officially at work today because it's a bank holiday, but I usually work bank holidays. But what I decided I would do is get some other jobs done today. So I've been and he said walking manically around the workshop. I've been to my daughter's boyfriend's house to drop off his birthday presents that she forgot. I've been, as you've seen, I've been and started the Volkswagen, got the camper going, and that's ready for MOT now. The brakes are freed off, the brakes work, the clutch works, it's not stuck or anything. It's only been stood for a year, but we had a right faff getting it going because there was no fuel coming through, and as I sort of thought, right, well the valves have dried out in the fuel pump, so we had no petrol in the can, so I dribbled a bit of white spirit down the fuel pipe, took the fuel pipe off the carburetor, nothing coming out, dribbled a bit of white spirit down and blew it into the pump, and sure enough a few minutes later it started pumping petrol, and it now starts on the key, so that's done. So the next job is a bit of table repair for home. So what we've got here is broken off dowels. The best way to get these dowels out is to drill a smaller hole down the middle of them and then just break them up inwards with a small screwdriver, etc, etc. So that's what I'm doing next. So we've got quite a few to drill out, dowels to replace. I've already made the dowel on the Covmac. Oh, and then we've got a bit of a dodgy leg here, haven't we? Is it that one? No, it's this one then. That leg there. That crack wants a piece of wood gently pushing into it with some PVA on either side, just to reinforce it a bit so it doesn't break. It's been like that for a long time. It doesn't want to. If you actually look at the leg, it's bent, but it's bent outwards, and if you try and squeeze it up, it bends even more. So we don't want to go that way. We want to just leave it exactly where it is and just put a piece of wood into it, put a sliver of wood into it and PVA it and just squeeze it gently. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this and leave this glued up here until probably tomorrow. I'll take it home tomorrow night, it'll be done by then. Right, I'll crack on with that, and the next job I'm going to do after that is to see if I can just solder a piece of Cat 5 wire across the broken track in my Cat 5 tester and get it working again. So I shall crack on. Bye now. And there we go folks. I knew this was going to be a complex clamping job, but I managed to get it done. I managed to get glue everywhere. Surprisingly, not actually over me, but I managed to get glue in the camera case, and I also managed to get glue all over the floor and all over the job. But now it's done, I'm just going to make a little piece to fit in there now, and just tap it in with some PVA, and then that can be sanded off when it's dry. But other than that, the main structure of it is re-doweled and glued back together. Right, I'll bring you back when there's some more to show you. Bye now. There we are folks, just tapped a little wedge in there. Right, when that glue's dry I can just grind that off with a Dremel and fill the bits where it doesn't fit, and that'll do the job. Stop it splitting any further. Bye now. And there we go folks. There's the repair. Just about on the limits of my eyesight, but thanks to that you can probably see it better in... Can I get that without a reflection? No, it's probably better like that. Right, that was it. It was just one of the tracks that's either broken or not connected properly. But now we have all 8 shining. It was number 3, it was off the third channel. It wasn't. It was showing a fault on number 3 every time. Lovely. Lovely. Right, that's that fixed. On to the next job. Oh, I'm just going to mention what I do with these. I've used a piece of Cat 5 inner to patch it with, and if you bend a tiny loop on the end of the piece of wire and then fill that loop with solder, do the same on both ends, you can just put it onto the dodgy connection, and you can just, you know, just give it the minimum of heat and it'll just solder to the end of the pin and the job's done. But as I say, this is, without that I wouldn't have done it, I don't think, and it really needed that to get it done. Okay, I'll bring you back when I've done another job. Bye now. My God, what a mess. There we go, folks, a couple of hours. I didn't bother going back to Alistair's to fix the rest of the Volkswagen because it's absolutely pouring with rain, and I told him if it rained I wouldn't come back, so that'll be a job for tomorrow. I'll take the tools with me. Right, all the printers stripped, loads of plastic gears, loads of little 12 volt motors, quite a few decent power supplies that have got good components on them, and lots of steel rods, which is what I really wanted. But there you go. I'm not sure whether these are silver or stainless steel, but you know, even printers that have got huge mileage on them don't seem to be worn at all. And if you reckon that 13 inches of stainless steel costs you about 15 quid, doesn't it? So it's expensive stuff. So I'll have to do some experiments and try hardening it. But there you go. But that's what I was at. See these power supplies, loads of components on here, big capacitors, power transistors that you can remove and use for replacements on other things. I mean, they're probably good power supplies, but I'll just rob them for components whenever I need a capacitor or a resistor or stuff like that, you know. Even fuses, the little fuses on the boards are so difficult to get, and they've all got them. Some of them are like that one, which are soldered on, which are a pain. But there you go. Just cheapness, isn't it? Right, that's it for Monday. Unofficial Monday, because that's no use for it. Unofficial Monday because I wasn't really going to work today, but never mind. I've got lots done. Tomorrow, tractor. No excuses, no skiving off, tractor. Okay, bye for now. Good afternoon, folks. Well, I'm afraid it's confession time. It's Tuesday and it's 5 o'clock and I haven't touched the tractor. But I have had a clear up and I have got rid of the rest of all those printers. It's given me a massive bag of hard plastic to go in the hard plastic skip at the CA site. Look at that, you wouldn't believe it, would you? Right, and there's more to go. And then at 2 o'clock I popped up to Mum's for a cup of tea and a chat because she's having eyesight trouble, and years and years ago when I had cataracts in both eyes and couldn't see at all, I was registered by the Partially Sighted Society, God bless them, in Leeds, and I went over to Leeds for a week and they gave me 2 wonderful eyesight aids. One is like a pair of plastic spectacles with double lenses which are focusable, and the other is like a pair of mini binoculars that you wear like glasses. So I took them up and she said one of them makes it quite a lot better, so she's going to experiment with them. But while I was there she said to me, oh, can you have a look at the ball valve because it's running quite fast. And it was running quite fast, and at last I could see the problem. The plastic ball valve was turned off, had switched off, and there was a fine spray of vapour coming out of possibly a crack in the plastic body, and that's what's been causing it. So I came back down here, had a further search through the wonderful junk room downstairs and found a brand new vertical bottom mounting ball valve. So I went back up and fitted it, and I've just this minute got it finished. So I've got nothing done. But I have a very fine collection of, I don't really know what these are made of. My guess is something like silver steel, because they're very finely polished, they're hard as the hobs of hell, and I'm going to have to grab a bit and heat it up at the end and see if it softens it. I assume it will. So I would say these are probably silver steel or carbon steel of some sort, because a file doesn't touch them. So there you go, and some quite nice pieces of steel there. Was it worth it all? Well, probably not, but you know what a faffer I am. Anyway, I've got loads of self-tapping screws and springs and solenoids and little clutches and useful bits of wiring. Quite a few low voltage motors, 12 volt, 24 volt motors. So they'll be useful. Springs are always useful. I use loads of springs. When I'm tinkering with things, you know, mending things, I use loads of bloody springs of all sorts. So, tomorrow, I swear on my Scout's honour, I'm going to finish this tidy up, sweep all that crap off the floor. I've not done so bad. And then I'm going to do the bloody tractor, right? And if I don't, you can all ring in and complain. Alright, bye for now, folks. Good morrow, people. It's Wednesday, 12 o'clock. The workshop is all back to rights again, reasonably. I've tested the 3 monitors, they all work perfectly, so that's ready for sale. And now, it's tractor time. So the first thing I'm going to... Let's just do a recap. We suspect we have a faulty ignition switch, which is not putting sufficient voltage to the coil when you crank the engine. It could be the carburettor. So what's required of an engine? You require compression, you require petrol, and you require a spark. Now, even if the spark is happening at completely the wrong time, it will chuff and pop and bang and blow smoke out and backfire. Right, so we'll forget timing for now, but I know the timing's right anyway. What we've got here is an engine that does not fire at all. When you crank it on the key, it does not fire at all. Now, previous to that, it would fire, start and run as you release the key, which is a clear indication that the ignition switch is not switching the current properly to the coil whilst it's cranking. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and start it with an extra feed straight from the battery to the ignition coil and see if we get any difference. So that's going to be my first try out, and after that it's back to the carburettor to make sure we've got petrol. So I'll do that now and I'll see what happens, and I'll bring you back when I know some more. Bye now. Right folks, well, we have no fuel. It looks like the fuel pump isn't lifting, so I'm going to take it off and strip it and see what we can find out, and if necessary order a new one, because like lots of 2CV bits, they ain't expensive. Okay, I'll bring you back when I've done some more. Bye now. And it looks like it was a fuel problem. I don't know what it was. There was no muck in the fuel pump to speak of. The valves were dry, and very often when the valves are dry they won't pick up fuel. So there she goes. And that's how you would expect it. That's how you would expect a 2CV to tick over. Really, that's how they run. All we can hear now is the bloody alternator bearings. Well, I'm glad I've got that sorted anyway. Right. Let's turn it off, see if it'll start again. On the button. Right. I'll bring you back in a minute. Bye now. There's you, folks. I'm only just started it. It's not been started all afternoon, so it's probably cold again. But there we go. Doesn't that look cute, eh? Let's hope it goes as well as it looks. Right. I'm going to turn it off now. That's the seat rattling. Right. So there we are, folks. That's it for today. 5 o'clock, going home. I've got to go and finish fixing the Volkswagen camper tonight. Just put some bolts in the seat and cut the bloody seat pan down so that we can get the battery out without taking the bloody seat off. So I'm going to crack on with that tonight. I might show you a bit of that as well. But I'm glad at last I've got to the bottom of this engine problem. I knew it wouldn't be much. It couldn't be much because this engine used to be as reliable as anything. So there we go. Right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm pretty sure I've been shadow banned, so I've said something out of turn. But I shall soldier on, and in the meantime try and get in touch with YouTube, which is almost impossible. If you don't know what shadow banning is, look it up on Google. It'll explain it to you. But basically there's some sort of algorithm or bot on Google that looks out for keywords that you either put in your text or say online, and if you say them, it sort of sidelines you. It doesn't send notifications to your subscribers that you've put a new video out, and it doesn't publicise you or push you at all. So I'm now back down to the number of watchers I had when I first started. Really, as I was saying, I'm getting about 60 to 80 views a week, whereas I was getting 300 to 400 views a week, and one of my videos had actually gone over 700, and by the weekend it was 1,000 in the week. So I know that something's happened to make it go down again because the content hasn't changed. So I shall try and fight against that. In the meantime, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, send me a comment, send me a like, let me know what you think. Okay, bye now folks.